Correct.
Yes,
Mr.
all
Chair.
set.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, this meeting is now called to order at 5:35 p.m. Madam Secretary, can you please call roll?
Certainly. Commissioner Barrera,
Present.
Commissioner Gavilanes? Not here. Commissioner Sanchez,
Present.
Commissioner Velasco, excuse me,
Present.
Vice Chair Velasco, excuse me, and Chair Heredia.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Chavez, can you lead us in the invocation, please?
Yes, certainly, Chair Heredia. I've asked the commissioners to please bow your heads in prayer and repeat after me. Our Heavenly Father, we are thankful for our city and for those citizens who give of their time and efforts to serve on the Traffic and Safety Commission. We ask that you be with those commissioners as they consider those matters which come before them, helping them to make the decisions which will be most beneficial to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Sanchez, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Madam Secretary, was the agenda posted according to state law?
It was posted according to law.
Okay, this is the time given to the public to speak on agenda and non-agenda items. Were any comments received?
No comments were received, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion from a commissioner on approving the minutes of the meeting on November 1st, 2022.
I'll first the motion.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
And Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Certainly. Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
and Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to our next item on the agenda, traffic safety analysis. Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
So good evening, Chair Heredia and members of the Traffic and Safety Commission. Before you is a traffic safety analysis for the intersection of Toller Avenue and Florence Place relating to a site distance improvement and related safety concerns received from residents. So I will turn that over to our city engineer, Doug Benas, to provide the report and findings. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight we were reviewing a request for site distance improvements at Toller and Florence Place. Basically, Florence Place is the east-west arterial that comes into Toller Place at a 90-degree angle street next to the Edison right-of-way, and so forth. So we took a look at it because people are complaining about coming out of Toller. They can't see traffic coming westbound on Florence Place. So we took a look at it, reevaluated it, and based on our engineering analysis. We recommend additional 20 feet of red curb on the northeast corner of the intersection, extending the solid lane line on eastbound Florence Place, east of Florence Avenue Toller to approximately 80 feet. Install 2 directional arrows in the pavement for eastbound traffic, and install delineator candlesticks to delineate eastbound Toller and Florence Place, about 150 feet east of the intersection. The estimated cost is to install these improvements is about $1,000, which is in the current street budget. And I'll be answering any questions out there. Based on our analysis, we did see that there could be some safety improvements, and that's what we're recommending the implementation thereof.
Doug, can you please elaborate a little more on bullet point 2? I see based on the image here, I see that we're gonna are we gonna extend that little sidewalk all the way down? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, that's the lane line we're trying to extend. That separates, Florence Place is 2 lanes in each direction. We have 1 lane coming off of Florence at this intersection, and 1 place making left from Toller. Just want to give them more delineations where they don't have to cross between them, and give a better safe from merging down farther down the street.
Oh, I see. Great, thank you.
That's the same solid lane where the delineators are going to be placed, correct? Or the candlesticks?
Correct.
Sorry, if I could add, commissioners, if this item is approved, this would go on the January agenda for City Council to then consider and make final determination on approval.
I just had a quick question about the first bullet point, the additional 20 feet on the northeast corner of the intersection of red curb. I was just wondering exactly which corner that was in reference to here in the image.
It's in front of the restaurant on the east side of Toller, on the north side
Got it.
of Florence Place. Right in front where that white minivan is parked. That's what we'll be painting red.
And that's parking, the parking space affected would be on Florence Place, correct, Doug?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I need a motion from the commission.
I'll go ahead and first motion to approve the recommendations.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
and Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go on to the next item, traffic safety analysis. And Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
Yes, thank you again. Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. Before you is a traffic safety analysis that came about from a request to install a hawk signal at the intersection of Gage Avenue and Ajax. I apologize, that was my dog. Gage Avenue and Ajax, where there's currently an uncontrolled crosswalk. And a HAWK stands for a high intensity activated crosswalk. And I also turned over this report request to our city engineer, Doug Benash. Thank you.
At this intersection, primarily to control traffic on Gage. As with all traffic signals, we follow the warrants provided by the manual uniform traffic control devices, the MUTCD. Just for background, Gage is a 4-lane east-west arterial roadway with a painted median island and on-street parking east of the intersection. Ajax is a minor north-south street coming from the residential neighborhoods on both sides of Gage. The closest signalized intersections is Gage and Eastern, which is 400 feet to the west of this intersection. And there's another signalized intersection at El Salindo, which is about 800 feet of this intersection. There is a painted crosswalk on Gage Ave, crossing Gage Avenue on the west side of Ajax Avenue, which is the west leg of the intersection. No other painted crosswalks are at the intersection. Currently, the city has installed a pedestrian push button operated flashing beacon, which when a pedestrian approaches, they push the button, they get the flashing lights as a visual indication that someone's in the crosswalk. Due to fact that Gage is an arterial roadway, we reviewed the MDTC warrants for the potential installation of a HAWK signal. Traffic counts, Gage is about 11,250 vehicles per day, where vehicles on Ajax is about 1,200 vehicles per day, or on Ajax. The volume warrants indicate that the minor street needs 600 vehicles per hour, which when you dig into the traffic volume counts, we do not meet that threshold, so the warrant is not met. We also reviewed the 3-year accident history. There were 2 accidents that were of right-of-way issues that could be solved by signal control. However, we're too close to the intersection at Gage and Eastern. However, the number of accidents does not meet the threshold of a minimum of 5 collisions, therefore the accident warrant is not met. Pedestrian and bicycle counts. We also take a look at the volumes not meet the warrants for the HAWK signal. We need a threshold of 75 crossings, whether pedestrian or bicycle. We have a peak hour of 69 crossings per day. It's almost there, but not quite. The data also shows we had only one bicycle accident over the past 3 years. Therefore, the accident history does not meet the warrant. But we did in reviewing the intersection, knowing that we have a flashing beacon pedestrian signal there already, we believe the current standards to the MUTCD to highlight that there was a pedestrian crossing ahead is recommending the installation of the shark teeth and redoing the limit lines to where the cars will park farther away from the intersection as part of the shark teeth. And that's where our recommendation is. So based on engineering safety review, we recommend the Traffic Safety Commission by motion to install shark teeth pavement markings and limit lines per the attached plan and replace any traffic signs as necessary to meet current high visibility reflective sheeting standard. This will be a cost of about $1,000 on maintenance. Maintenance budget, and I'll answer any questions.
No questions, but I think it's a good idea to add any potential safety improvements to this intersection, as I'm very familiar with it. And yeah, it might not seem busy on paper, but when we cross by, it's always like full of cars and always pedestrians trying to cross. But anything we can do to make that area safer, I think would be a good idea.
Okay, I need a motion from the commission.
We have first a motion on approval of the recommendations.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll go ahead and second.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote?
Certainly. Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
and Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go on to the next item on the agenda, another traffic safety analysis. And Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
Yes, Chair and members of the commission, before you is a traffic safety analysis for a request for Garfield Avenue and Shoal Street relating to concerns with sight distance. So our traffic engineer, city engineer have prepared some recommendations, and I'll turn it over to our city engineer, Doug Benosh, to give those findings. Thank you.
Well, good evening again. We've had a resident request indicating there's could be safety issues when you come out of Shoal Street, the east side of Shoal, coming onto Garfield. We have Garfield being a 4-lane arterial, Shoal Street being a 2-lane residential, actually commercial street. Shoal on the east side of Garfield is a mix of the south side of the street being commercial and the north side being residential. So you get a mix of traffic coming out of there. And then at the southeast corner of there of Shoal and Garfield, we have a mobile home park there also. So when we looked at it from a safety standpoint, yes. Additional vehicles do park on the corner during various times of the day. So it's our recommendation from a safety improvement is to install red curb between the driveway and the corner to mitigate people from parking at the intersection, which will then open up visibility from that standpoint. And that's our recommendation to staff, or to the commission, install 25 feet of red curb at the southeast corner of Shoal and Garfield, or southwest, depending on where, well, it's on an angle, so it's kind of a bizarre. But the corner is indicated in the proposed improvement. It'll cost about $250 out of the current street maintenance budget. And I'll entertain any questions.
No questions on this one.
Yeah, this one definitely looks a little more straightforward. Looks like it'll increase visibility. I need a motion from the commission.
I'll go ahead and first the motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll go ahead and second.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
and Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this item will also be presented to City Council at the January meeting for final approval. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll go on to our last traffic safety analysis for the night. Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
Certainly. And commissioners, you might recall this item from maybe less than a year ago. It was brought forward sometime maybe mid-2021. So this is a request for an always stop sign at the intersection of Javandia Road and Gotham Street. And at the time of the analysis, it didn't meet the warrants for installation, and our city engineer and his staff conducted a second review, and findings were met, as you've seen in the report. Now I'll turn it over to our city engineer for further. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Good evening. Again, we're revisiting the warrant study for the an all-way stop intersection for a three-legged intersection at Gotham and Habanera. We went through, as with all stop signs, the MUTCD warrant studies, and they cover collisions, volumes, and sight distance and accidents. So when we went through those again, there was insufficient number of accidents. There's still not enough vehicles to meet the traffic warrants. But the side distance warrant, there could be increasing in red curb there for safety purposes. However, I think about a year ago, the MUTCD added section 2B.07 for multi-way stop applications, other criteria that may be considered in the study when installing stop signs. And they basically have 4 items. There's a need to control left turn conflicts. There's a need to control vehicle and pedestrian conflicts, locations that generate high pedestrian volumes. Locations where road users after stopping cannot see conflicting traffic and is not able to negotiate the intersection unless conflicting traffic is also required to stop. And the intersection of 2 residential neighborhood collector streets of similar design and operating characteristics where multi-way stop would improve traffic operational characteristics of the intersections. When we re-looked at this with these additional criteria and through additional field observations, we conclude that the multi-way stop sign is recommended because we meet items A and B of MUTCD section 2B.07. And they also recommend additional red curb for that also. So our recommendation is to install 2 stop signs on Habanera Road for the northwest and southeast corners to make it an all-way stop intersection with Gotham. Paint 20 feet of red curb on the north side of Gotham as you approach the intersection of the existing stop sign. Paint 120 feet of overall red curb on the east side of Habanera, 70 feet south of Gotham and 50 feet north of Gotham at Habanera. We install new limit lines and stops and refresh all the intersection striping as required. We estimate this cost to be about $250. And it's available in the current street maintenance budget. Also included with the report is the actual data and warrant study conducted by the traffic engineer and infrastructure engineers that supports the findings here in the report. And I'll answer any questions.
Is there an estimate as to how many parking spaces would be affected with the added red curb?
We're going to lose about 5. Figure about 20 feet of parking space. There's 120 feet. So it's going to be 5, maybe 6. There's some driveways there, so there's some the driveways take up some of the space where you can't park. So it's we're encompassing. We're going over the drive approaches. We're not going to paint them red, but that's part of the distance calculations.
All right.
So some of those spaces, Vice Chair Velasco, they're not all consecutive 7 spaces, right? Some are on Gotham to improve visibility of the sign and keeping cars from parking there, and then some on Habanera on the west side of Gotham, and the other 1 or 2 on the other side. If that helps explain it. So,
yes,
but yes, it's still impacting parking, definitely.
Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments on this traffic safety analysis? I think it's been a while since we've got rid of these many parking spots in a small residential area. So kind of makes me think about it a little bit more. But a stop sign in that T intersection will definitely help with safety. So I need a motion from the commission.
And if I could add also, Chair Heredia and Commissioners, this item is going to, if it's approved tonight, it will be forwarded to City Council at the upcoming December 12th meeting, because there has been a huge number of citizen requests and concerns presented to city staff, even from the police department to our public works department. We wanted to expedite any action on this. So if it got approved by the commission and then City Council on Monday night, we would be looking at installing this stop sign and the related markings by middle of December. Thank you.
Got it.
All right, it's all right. I'll go ahead and first the motion to get this approved.
Thank you. And I need a second.
Yeah, go ahead and second it.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
and Mr. Chair Heredia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and were there any comments from staff?
Yes, I wanted to share with the commission. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I know the holiday season is upon us and we'll be celebrating the winter holidays and New Year here soon. So with that, I also wanted to let you know that the upcoming December 12th council meeting agenda will include council's consideration and approval of the loading zone and disabled person parking space that was approved by the commission and at the November commission meeting, as well as the Jamoneria and Gotham stop sign, as I mentioned. And then also, if you recall, a request for speed humps that the commission approved forwarding for council consideration on Perry Road from Loveland to Florence Place, right along the west side of Veterans Park. So that was approved, findings were made, and then the residents needed to submit petitions indicating more than 50% of the support from the residents. So it took a long time, but the residents finally submitted the required percentage, and so that's being scheduled on Monday night. So that would be 2 additional speed humps there that will be installed if approved by council. And that is all I have. And again, just wishing everyone, the commissioners, a happy holiday winter season and a happy new year as well. And we will see you in January. But please reach out to us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chavez. And do we have any comments from commissioners?
Yes, I just wanted to say that I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. To also stay safe. I work in the healthcare and everybody has been getting sick recently. So just wash your hands. If you can, wear a mask. And I hope that you guys enjoy your holiday season coming up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone happy holidays and thank you for another great year. Hope everyone spends it with their family and see you guys in January.
Thank you. We will.
Okay, yep, same like just everybody else. I know it's the beginning of December, but also the end of the year. So overall, I think it's been a great year and hopefully we'll start off fresh with a brand new year. If there are no other comments, then we will adjourn.
As usual,
meeting.
sorry, Chair Heredia, can I
No
also
problem,
add
no
just a
problem.
reminder to the commission, the city hall is closed the week of Christmas. Resuming operation, I think that's on that Tuesday, January 3rd. Let me check my calendar real quick. So yeah, City Hall is closed December 26th, Monday through Monday, January 2nd, and offices reopen on Tuesday, January 3rd. So with that, the agenda for the commissioners would be going out on Thursday, December 22nd. So you'll get it extra early this year. Just a note on that. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you for the update. Okay, happy holidays, everyone. We'll now adjourn this meeting to the next scheduled meeting, January 3rd, 2023. And this meeting is now closed at 6:05 p.m.
Thank you. See you next year.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.